It's a pleasant Wednesday evening wherever you are. This is Niche. Today I am Zach. Totiaban Shemin, the headline. Fear grabs Liberians as fragments erupt between protesters and LP officers. 4 civil society organizations condemned recent scuffle between Yeke Kolva and some disadvantaged Liberians call for peaceful protest. The Environmental Protection Agency of Liberia has threatened to arrest and prosecute people who deliberately violate the environmental laws of the country. Those plus more package for you when we shall have returned. Keep watching. Today, Capitol Hill was an interesting scene to watch when solidarity groups gathered to support their lawmaker, Yeke Kolba, who was earlier invited by police to answer to allegations brought against him. It was reported that the district lawmaker allegedly ordered the flocking of a resident of the district he represents. Throwing of stones by later turned protester groups and firing tear gas by police were the order of the day. The incident comes just 48 hours to the holding of much publicized June 7 protest. Fear is now the order of the day.
Well, the university is an entity where learning is supposed to be taking place. But if students are going on a rampage to do things that are not right, then I think it has the propensity of creating chaos in the country. Government is the one that will regulate all other activities. So there is no need for people to be rioting, more especially at the university campus. It's unbearable. I mean, it's disheartening to see the kind of situation unfolding. Students should behave as students and should start doing things that will create misreputation of the University of Liberia. Thank you very much.
What does this signal ahead of the much publicized and anticipated June 7 protest?
Well, this alone to be misbehaving. When things are going out of hand, it should be done. When you have a grievance, you express it in the most responsible manner. But you don't go astray by creating exacerbation for the government. The government has a way of handling their own thing in the best way possible to bring safety to the nation of people. But if people start going ahead and scatter, nagging things about, chunking around, I mean, it is not right. If a lawmaker is arrested or is called for questioning, it's one of the jurisdiction of the government to justify why it is going on. But it does not now with the private of the student to be creating problem as such.
The government hired dogs to MCC said the mayor called Jefferson.
Yes.
They came on campus here, they developed our learning environment. Nothing came out of it. No police came after them to run after them.
Nobody.
That if you are to see some of them, you will run away. And government did not intervene to get them out of campus. This is a learning environment, right? We do not need people come here to disturb and derail our peace. President, where you need to know the police academy from the university campus. You can see, as you can see, you generally can see what happened here, right? Our learning environment have been disturbed.
But the police did not just wake up to fire tear gas here. There were some protesters who blocked the road.
We did not leave our
and
campus.
ran
We are on
in
campus.
Protesters when they blocked the road, reason being they felt they arrested their student leader, Impressor of Carlos Allison. Some of us were not members of no political party on the campus of the University of Liberia.
Okay.
Carlos Allison was at the auditorium, right near the auditorium. I and my friend was standing because we had a test today to take meeting. While waiting for the test, Carlos walked on the side. All of a sudden, we saw 3 members of SUP running in. No Carlos, no school. No Carlos, no school. I asked the other guy what happened. He said, "Oh, we and our chairman were going down Jalastan, and then they arrested him." On what basis? He said, "The man didn't do anything." The burden of tolerance lies on President George Manneh Weah and we the citizens of Liberia. Y'all get it, people.
Well, some Liberians spoke to KMTV after some of the protesting students ran into the facilities of the University of Liberia to seek refuge, and this was what they had to say. We're bringing you that later on. 3 civil society organizations in Liberia say they are concerned about the holding of the pending June 7 protest on a peaceful atmosphere. The 3 organizations include Central, Mayo, and ARED. The groups told a news conference Wednesday there are possible signs of Liberia reverting the conflict of Liberians if Liberians continue to preach hate messages. They also condemned the recent fracas that erupted between supporters of Representative Yeke Kolbe on Monday and some disadvantaged Liberians on Broad Street. Anderson Miamin is the head of Central.
Protesters. We call on the media, government officials, and protest organizers to be conflict sensitive and ensure that the Liberian National Police and other security forces remain professional, respect human rights and the rule of law, and refrain from the use of excessive force against unarmed protesters. We call on the media, government officials, and protest organizers to be conflict sensitive and ensure that peace, stability, and democracy is sustained and guaranteed in Liberia. We call on the international community, especially ECOWAS, AU, UN, EU, and the American Embassy to closely monitor the situation in Liberia and hold anyone who will instigate violence accountable for their actions. Are deeply concerned over the peacefulness of the impending June 7, 2019 protests and called on all stakeholders involved, including Council of Patriarchs and the government of Liberia, to sustain the peace, ensure respect for the rule of law, human rights, and free movement of citizens during the protest to avoid any provocation that could lead to violence and destruction of lives and properties. Collectively, with the support of development partners, Liberians suffered for the peace we currently enjoy. So, we must continue to jealously guide and protect it individually and collectively through our actions and deeds. The recent June 2019 violent situation on the Broad Street involving supporters of Representative Yeke Kolbe and disadvantaged youth largely believed to be against the planned June 7 protests. Tension between rivalry political groups at the University of Liberia and the increased negative social media campaign are counterproductive and undermine the rule of law and peace and stability of the nation. Although stable and peaceful, there is a strong possibility of reverting to conflict if Liberians are not careful about their decisions and utterances, no matter which side of the political divide they find themselves. While we unconditionally support exercise of the rights of citizens, especially organizers and supporters and sympathizers of the June 7, 2019 protest, as guaranteed by Article 17 of the 1986 Liberian Constitution, we want to encourage all would-be protesters to do so within the confines of the law. We strongly encourage organizing body of the protest, the Council of Patriarchs, to exert full leadership and control over their members and groups that will be protesting in solidarity with or under their auspices.
Edison Miamin is the head of ARED, and of course, he represents 3 civil society organizations calling for peaceful atmosphere of the most publicized June 7 protest. Still talking about June 7 civil society, that civil society and trade union organizations have joined those appealing to the protesters to exercise their democratic franchise peacefully. Jefferson Knight is the president of the Civil Society and Trade Union Institutions of Liberia.
You know, we have been following the entire situation in the country about protestation, the famous June 7 And I can tell you for sure, the civil society and trade union institutions that comprises of over 12 institutions of both civil society, human rights, and professional groups like the National Health Academy of Liberia. We are very concerned about the planned demonstration instilling fear in the lives of Liberians. While it is true we all have our democratic right under Article 17 to demonstrate and assemble peaceably and petition our government, but we want to call on workers, especially members of the civil society who have over 25,000 members under the civil society and trade union institutions of Liberia. We want to call on them to exercise the democratic right, the franchise, in terms of assembling peaceably. Those who have interest in those having protest can join, and those who do not have interest stay away. Those who have interest join, and we want this thing to be peaceful as much as possible so that our country can move forward. What is happening right now is that fear is being instilled in the lives of the people, and we don't know why other people are playing it, especially the people who have different motives and what have you. These are the kind of concerns we have, and we want for our country to be peaceful, to remain peaceful, stable, so that we, our children, every one of us, including investors, can come to move our country forward, basically. So that's why that's our concern.
If you're just coming out with this, is a reminder that you are watching news today on your own KMTV with me, Zach, Totia Mashiman. Stories we are following. Fear grabs Liberians as fracas erupt between protesters and LMP officers. 4 civil society organizations condemn recent scuffle between Yeke Kolbe and some disadvantaged Liberians, called for peaceful protest. The Environmental Protection Agencies of Liberia has threatened to arrest and prosecute people who are deliberately violating the environmental laws of the country. Keep watching. We'll be right back right after this break. Welcome back. This is News Today. The Environmental Protection Agency of Liberia has threatened to arrest and prosecute people who are deliberately violating the environmental laws of Liberia. The government environmental agency named the burning of garbage, building and waterways, amongst others, as some of the bad practices by people in various communities. EPA Deputy Executive Director Randa Dubayu made the remarks today at the celebration of World Environmental Day.
As we celebrate this year World Environment Day, considering our local team, clean air, good health, it is extremely important for me to indicate that the EPA is particularly alarmed by the increasing rate of unsustainable disposal of municipal solid waste, the pollution of our coastal waters, and runoff from road sewage, and the burning of plastic and other waste. While it is true that solid waste management remains a formidable challenge in our country, the EPA believes we can sustainably dispose our waste, thus avoiding major public crises as we maintain clean air. Burial of municipal waste can cause leaching, pollution, surface, and groundwater resulting from disastrous health and environmental consequences, especially if the waste contains toxic substances or if nearby water sources are used for water supply. Besides surface and groundwater pollution or contamination, waste burial also has the ability to affect soil quality and reduce agricultural yield. Considering the plastic generated in laboratory waste stream constitutes 60%, direct burial of waste into the ground will result into the depletion of soil nutrients by clogging submaster in the soil, thus prohibiting the growth of plants. This is bad because about 60% of Liberia economy is driven by agriculture. The agency is also asking all citizens of Liberia to stop burning waste, as the burning of waste poses even greater health and environmental risks to everyone. Open draining of waste can result into the direct release of smoke and toxic foam into the atmosphere, affecting the environment. I therefore, at this critical juncture, strongly emphasize that the agency, consistent with the Environmental Protection and Management Law of 2003, will apprehend people whose activities are geared towards environmental degradation, air pollution, and the illegal disposal of garbages inconsistent with Section 63 of the Environmental Protection and Management Law of 2003.
While speaking at the ceremony, Deputy Health Minister Dr. Francis Katay admonished librarians to avoid and report cases of public smoking. He said secondhand smoke can equally affect non-smokers when they inhale smoke. The Deputy Health Minister was speaking at the World Environmental Day in Pinsville.
Most of the diseases that have been named here, asthma, all of those things have an impact on the lungs. So for example, exposure to unsafe air, for example, constant exposure to smoke affects what we call, the lungs has an elasticity in it. So it expands and then it contracts. What works in there is something we call surfactant. So the surfactant is very, very important. So when you inhale so much smoke or pollutant, it causes some damages to the surfactant. As a result, you don't have an expansion of the lungs. In Liberia, the key thing is that early diagnosis. One of the things we do in Liberia is that when we get sick, the first place we go is to the church to go and pray. We have to realize the God that we serve has given every one of us a talent. God cannot come down to do things for us. So let's go to the clinic, let's go to the hospital, let's be diagnosed and treatment start while the prayer is going on. You don't have to be in the pastor's phase for his prayer to work. You can stay at his church and whatever while you're taking your medicine. In Liberia, there is a law against smoking, even though we are not enforcing the law of public smoking. That is a precursor to lung cancer and other issues. So, for example, most of the hospitals, you have to stay 25 meters peripheral from the hospital to smoke. Smoking in a closed environment leads to secondhand smoke. So even though you are not the one smoking, but the moment that person is smoking, you are inhaling that into your lungs. And the same issue that I talked about. So it begins to affect the surfactant in the lungs and it could lead you to additional problems. You can develop throat cancer and so forth. By the time you develop cancer, it becomes a major problem. And so the best thing we do is that prevention is better than cure. When you are in an environment where people are smoking and smoking directly in your face, tell them, please, turn your smoke one side. If your mother or your father smoking, mama, this thing here not good. Please, even though you feel it now, but tomorrow it could cause a serious problem for us.
While making remarks on behalf of Mines and Energy Minister was Deputy Minister for Planning and Human Resource Development, Carlton Miller. Mr. Miller stressed the need for Liberians to make good environmental choices for healthy living.
So let's talk about the choices we can make that will result in more of that clean air so that we can get more of those health benefits. Air pollution in its simplest is any substance in the air that can harm people. There are many different kinds of pollutants in the air. Some are more harmful than others. Various gases are produced when fossil fuel is burned. These include sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, and ozone, and can cause irritation in our airwaves, reducing lung capacity and cause shortness of breath. Particulate matter is also produced. This can be soot, smoke, dust, or chemicals that can be so small that they can pass through your lungs and into your bloodstream, causing damage that is only just being fully explored by scientists. But we need to ensure that we are responsible in how we choose to consume our energy. By choosing to burn the fossil fuels in our activities, we are creating more of the kinds of pollutants that I just outlined. Not only that, but we also increase the rate of global warming and its associated dangers such as sea level rise or the increased likelihood of extreme weather which will decimate our agricultural sector. We can choose not to burn trash, but instead use community-based enterprises, the CBEs, to take the trash away. By burning it next to the house, we release all kinds of harmful substances into the air, into the very air we breathe.
And civil society and trade union organizations today presented to the Ministry of Labor a request for trade union certificate recognition. The group expressed hope that the government will act upon the document. George Paul Williams is the head of the group.
We have just met the Minister of Labor and we have again presented our request for a trade union certificate of recognition. In the last almost 10 years, we have been requesting this, we have been denied repeatedly. In this regime, we have presented it a fourth time, and the ministry had no records of it, even though we brought it there. So today, again, we came in mass so that it wouldn't be 2-3 persons bringing it, but workers from across the country, representing all of the 15 chapters, are here to present this document, and it has been received by the Minister proper himself of the Ministry of Labor. So, Honorable Moses Wakoli. We therefore hope that the government will make use of this instrument, because our complaint at the ILO, recommendations from the ILO Committee on Freedom of Association to the ministry had not been followed up. So we came only to remind them as they go to the ILC, which is the International Labour Conference, so that they will be able to present what they have done over the past 1 year, and that we can all work together and see how NAWU can have a certificate of recognition, so we can start to proceed with the building of our collective bargaining document. Comrades of the National Health Workers Unions, I say bravo to all of you for coming up in time like this.
And folks, we want to say thanks for your viewing pleasure. We will go home. Here once again, the headline. Fear grabs Liberians as fracas erupt between protesters and LMP officers. 4 civil society organizations condemn recent scuffle between Yeke Kolba and some disadvantaged Liberians, called for peaceful protest. The Environmental Protection Agency of Liberia has threatened to arrest and prosecute people who deliberately violate the environmental laws of the country. Thanks for watching. I am Zach Totia Mashemen Foyen on behalf of the News Department of Creative Minds Television.